Welcome back to The Legend of Heroes Trails Beyond Horizon, where we are back with Van and looking into what we learned about Alter Dawn. Last time we were here, yeah. And we currently have a side quest about vandalism in the art museum, temporarily closed. This seems to be related to the 4SPG we saw earlier. Are you going to take it on, Van? I'm pretty curious about it. Let's talk to him now. My guess is it was Kizawa herself. Are you the Spriggan I keep hearing about? Thank you for coming all this way. No worries, it's all part of a job. More importantly, it seems that you've got something big going down. Well, yes. We're putting on a three-person exhibit to get people excited about the future of contemporary art. Perhaps it would be easier to just show you what's going on. This is... my goodness. Awful, isn't it? Here's what the original picture looked like, for reference. Kizawa does do graffiti, so I could see how someone would think this is intentional if they hadn't seen the original. So the area that's been painted over is too big. Yes, it's nothing but a desecration of the artist's work. When did you first notice this? It was being displayed to the general public as usual this morning. Yeah, I saw it too. There weren't any issues I was aware of. As it happens, we had maintenance scheduled to be done in the exhibition hall at noon today. We closed temporarily at exactly 12 o'clock. We call it maintenance, but it was mostly just adjusting the lighting. We leave it to the artists themselves to handle who comes and goes during that time. It was when this occurred. An incident during maintenance, huh? Tell me who was the person who first noticed it. That would be Angie, one of Kizawa's friends from school. She was going in and out of the exhibition hall, helping Kizawa. Apparently she had seen it when she had just come back from the restroom. Nobody else was there at the time. There was a window when it was unattended? Yes, that's right. Angie actually shrieked when she saw it. She was so startled. I came running as did other members of staff. It was around 12:50 p.m. I see. In short, the perp was someone involved in the exhibit. Based on what we've heard, it doesn't seem possible for an outsider to be the culprit. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I'm glad you're quick to understand. Kizawa, victim of a situation, went as far as to say that the piece had become charming in its own way. She even claimed we didn't need to look for the culprit, but as a person in charge of this exhibition, I cannot ignore what happened. I suppose that's true. Yes, and we cannot deny the possibility of this occurring a second time. That said, I really don't want to make this into a major incident either, which is why Kizawa recommended I reach out to the Spriggan for help. That's one question answered. Say, do you mind if everyone involved sticks around? Not at all, I've already made the call to have everyone remain here. Kizawa left in shock, as you might expect, but if need be, I'm sure she would be willing to answer questions. I see, and it seems everything is in place for us to make a deduction. I believe I understand the situation. For the record, I was working on the second floor at midday, so I have no knowledge about who came or went from the exhibition hall. My alibi shouldn't have any issues, so I'd appreciate it if you didn't count me among your suspects. Confident, aren't you? You don't seem to be lying at any rate. Why don't we start by having a brief chat with the other people involved?
Let's start this 4SPG, shall we?
You guys are the fixers then. Appreciate the help. Let me start by saving you some time. I didn't do it. You got proof? There was simply never a time when I was alone. Raymond asked me for help, so I was working with him the whole time. Really? We better check with Raymond too, to see if his story tracks. Just for reference, may I ask what kind of work you were doing here? Sure, the appearance of rust is crucial to these pieces, but it can change bit by bit. So I regularly check the colors and adjust the balance accordingly. I see, the appearance. Anyway, I get that you're particular about this, but tell me, what do you think of Kizawa's art? Well, of the three of us exhibiting, her work seems to be getting the most attention. Let alone I have no choice but to be conscious of it. But I would never do anything to defile another person's art. Is that right? Understand. You're the curator here, right? Think you could tell us what you know? Well, I was helping Mehmet at noon today. We got lunch together after that, so I can at least prove his alibi. Mehmet Zedan. He's one who created the sculptures on the right side of the exhibition hall. We want to confirm this with him later. As far as the others go, I honestly have no idea. Honestly, I'm finding this whole thing hard to swallow. You have my sympathies. Anyway, thanks for your testimony. You must be once investigating the incident. I'll answer any questions I can. Fire away. Alright, let's start with your alibi. I don't remember exactly when I was in the exhibition room, but it shouldn't be hard to prove. I was with Ashanti the entire time. That matches the testimony you just heard from her. That doesn't leave much room for doubt. Incidentally, what were you doing in the exhibition room? I was adjusting the lights that illuminate the art. Although it's indoors, the lighting still changes between morning and afternoon. I'm mindful of how the shadows fall. It may not sound like much, but the work I do is vital. It sounds like there's a lot to think about behind the scenes. Wow, this has been informative. Last question, may I ask what you think of Kizawa? Well, she's the youngest of the three of us. To put it plainly, I think she's more passionate than either Felix or myself. But that's exactly why I can't afford to let her outdo me. We may work in different mediums, but she ignites my fighting spirit. I see, that makes sense. Haven't seen you since yesterday, Raymond. Might if we ask you some questions? Ah, yes, of course. Well, to be honest, I don't know much. I was busy helping Felix all midday after all. We were together the whole time. That matches what we heard before. In that case, it seems like we are both innocent? I take it you don't know much about what's happening around you, then? Yes, I'm sorry to say. Truly, all I know is that Felix is innocent. Alright, that's all our questions answered. Oh, it's you guys. Kizawa's always talking about you. We work out of Old Town. You might say we've got a bit of a connection to Kizawa. I'm sure what's happened here must be quite a shock. Or it might be difficult for you. Would you mind cooperating with us so we can find the culprit? Alright, but I don't know if I'll be any help. You were with Kizawa at the time, right? Right, she wanted me to help her reposition her painting. I got here at around 12:50, I think. It seemed like everyone else was already finished by then, but that's when we got to work. So you two were the last ones there. Work itself didn't take more than 10 minutes. Kizawa said she wanted to use the restroom, so I went with her. I finished first, so I went back to the exhibition hall before she did. And that's when you saw the painting like that? I was really surprised, I even shrieked. And that's when everyone else came running? Did Kizawa lag behind the others? Yes, she was the last to arrive. I tried to talk to her, but she just left the art gallery. Understand. I think that's all we need to know. Thank you so much, Angie. But don't mention it. Seems like we've learned all we can out of these people. Yes, you're right. We have enough to make a tentative inference, but... well, no use dawdling around. Let's just give the report for now. How did it go? Did you determine the culprit? I think we're on the cusp. You mind gathering everyone here? It seems like you found the truth. I'm nervous for some reason. Hold nothing back, tell us who's the culprit. Well, we don't have any conclusive evidence yet, but... the culprit is someone who isn't here. Huh? Oh. No way. That's right. That's ridiculous. Let me speak bluntly. It was Angie, wasn't it? Hold on, you can't just decide that on your own. It's true that according to our investigation, Angie is the only one without an alibi. But we learned there was one other person without an alibi. It couldn't be... Curtis? Are you guys still stuck there? I spotted Kizawa, but then I lost sight of her again. Curtis? So he's been pursuing Kizawa, huh? What in the world? Leave a talk for later, we're going after them. I'm coming too. Vaughn and Curtis exchanged information and decided to meet up in Riverside. Whenever I spot Kizawa, she gets away again. I'm not sure, but I think she's still nearby. Sounds like it'd be most effective if we split into two groups. We take the far side of a bridge, so you two take this one. Got it.
Ice cream! Get your ice cream here!
Just a minute, I don't understand. Trying to get close to Jessica again? I swear by the goddess, I'm not. It's not like I'm asking for her contact information. Just want to apologize and beg for forgiveness. Is that the guy behind the whole stalker thing we dealt with before? Yes, he's a client who tried to deceive us, but what happened to his face? I think the lady he's talking to works for a cafe in Tyrell. She was the victim's friend, if I remember correctly. Ah, that's very fast for SPGs. Okay.
Now where?
Finally found you, Kizawa Questea. Well done, Spriggan. Did you enjoy getting to play detective? Did you really do it yourself, Kizawa? That's why you came here, isn't it? Because you thought so? Well, it's true. Are you freaking kidding me? He finally caught up to you. Perfect time, I wanted you two to hear this too. What do you think I am? Huh? Kizawa? Just half a year ago, I was nobody. A stone on the road. Or less than that, I was gutter trash. Yet I made all kinds of connections before I knew it, the tide was carrying me along. And now the world thinks of me as some sort of genius young artist. What's wrong with that? If anything, it's a blessing. I thought so too, at first. It was all make-believe. What people want, what the world wants, isn't me. But my title. That's not true. That three-person exhibit is proof. Put bluntly, my work makes even garbage look like fine art in comparison. The piece I made in metal was nothing short of atrocious, if I do so myself. But the graffiti I created after losing my mom, after abandoning Northumbria where I was born, it had a soul, a rebellious spirit that boiled in the pit of my stomach. Kizawa. It definitely left an impact. But now I'm spoiled by the people around me. And even a part of me feels that's not such a bad thing. There's no way graffiti paint in these conditions can have any kind of soul. Yet nobody realizes it. Nobody points it out. They all just say that since it's a work of a genius, it has to be good. In the end, no one understands the real me. And the truth comes to light. That's why I painted over that trash. Looking at it was unbearable. The only reason I didn't come forward about it immediately was because the event planner's reaction was funny. He was so obsessed with a young genius that he never suspected me from the start. What a joke. I understand your feelings really, but they've become twisted. This will rear me. And if you can't handle it, then too bad. But boy, I sure feel a lot better now. You think they expel me from our mess? I bet they even stopped calling me a genius. Fine with me. I've been nothing but trash from the get-go. Kizawa, you... Grow up! Angie? I've done nothing but stand by while you got this crap out of your system. Sure, maybe this dark, brooding, tough-tongued Kizawa is the real you. But the bright, pure-hearted, honest Kizawa is real too. I won't let you deny it. Angie... I've got something to say too. You're raging about how the people around you don't understand you. But everyone has prejudices. Everyone has their own point of view in the world. So, name recognition is just as much of a legitimate basis of appraisal. I think the fact that you can't even understand that makes you the one who's self-important, don't you? Those are harsh words. But they're to the point. Why don't you just cut this all out? What? I'm sure you think you're in too deep after that tough talk. But you thought the same things our friends are saying too, right? It's true. Maybe right now, just a brat throwing a tantrum. But it's too late to erase what I've done. Kizawa, did you really think that far ahead? What difference does it make? Just paint over it. That's definitely something you can do in graffiti. But I've already lost sight of how I feel. Not to steal someone else's analogy, but why not follow up with both ends of the emotional spectrum? On one side, you're dark, boiling, brooding toward the people who don't see below the surface. On the other, the bright, pure-hearted gratitude you have for your current environment and situation. I'm saying you should take all of those things together and express them in your graffiti. Both my dark and bright sides, huh? Makes sense. Maybe I can express those things honestly now. After being persuaded, Kizawa returned to the Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art to confess. With the approval of the necessary people, she transformed the work she had defiled into a new piece of art. It's done. I hate to say it, but this really is amazing. Yeah, just what I expect from Kizawa. It really draws you in. I'm sure a large part of why is because we witness a transformation for ourselves. Indeed, there's a passion here that the original could not match. I'm ashamed of my own thoughtlessness now that I've heard the story. It truly is a splendid piece. My dark and bright side mixed together. I never attempted something like this before, but I feel like I did them justice. Yeah, your spirit really shows through in this work. I bet the exhibit will become even more lively as a result. Yeah, the sudden new addition is going to really get people talking too. That's true. In any case, that settles that.
Well done, everyone.
Mira deposit confirmed.
That was a whole lot to take in, but you know I feel closer to Kizawa because of it. Also with answer, right? I really owe Angie and Curtis an apology. Same goes for you guys, thanks for everything today. So Kizawa defaced her own work. Honestly, I'm dumbfounded. But even still, this piece gives off an aura like no other. It's really stoking my competitive spirit. There's no denying that I place the brunt of the focus on the creators as opposed to their pieces. I hope we can all treat this as a lesson learned and apply it going forward. Thanks to this little incident, Kizawa Castella's work will probably garner even more recognition now. To tell you the truth, it's got me seething, but my next piece will be leaving her in the backseat instead. Just see if it doesn't. A repainted piece, huh? A novel idea to be sure. Even I found myself newly inspired by it. ingenuities like these are exactly what makes contemporary art so enthralling.
Take your time.
I gotta hand it to you, Spring. You really know how to solve things from outside of a box. About all those things Kizaru's been struggling with, though. We might have come from totally different backgrounds, but something about them really hits home for me. We plan to reopen for the day once everything's set up again. The only question is how will the visitors react to Kizaru's born-again piece? I'm having fun just imagining it. That's Isabel. An acquaintance of mine is here in the capital, so I came up top to visit them just now. I will have fun but on my way back, but with intriguing little aftermath. I may as well see if this graffiti artist's work is all it's cracked up to be, once I finish setting up anyway. Look at you, strolling up, it's no big deal. I wasn't really with an appreciation for art. That's a little surprising. Oh please, just a minor work-related association. You see, a former patient of mine is what the discerning world would call a virtuoso in the field. Who do you think she means? Sounds like a long story, but honestly I'd rather not dig into it.
Well.
Looks like I've stumbled on something especially interesting this time around. I may as well see if this graffiti artist's work is all it's cracked up to be. Okay, then let's return to Riverside.
I guess we're off. Hello, sweetheart.
Hello, Morty.
Order whatever you like. Aw, leaving so soon?
Ice cream! Get your ice cream here!
Can you spare a moment?
Oh, it's you. Oh, you're Aquat Solutions, right? Yo, we've met you with a young lady recently, but it's been a really long time since we saw you. You're Jonas Taylor, Assistant Manager of Sales at Albert Trading Co. How do we know it? I see, he's a culprit from the stalker case I read about in her files. Right, he pretended to be a long-lost brother at first, but turned out to be the stalker himself, right? In short, he's a villain. And his victim's name was Jessica, right? I thought she moved. Is this guy trying to get her friend to tell him a new address? No, you've got it all wrong. I did wonder if it was what he wanted when he reached out, but I don't think I can let what I've heard slide, but he doesn't seem to be lying. Yeah, so who gave you those bruises? Don't play dumb. He's one of yours, isn't he? I confess that I couldn't forget about Jessica even after what happened. I hope you could somehow get back together, but that means I have to go through something like that, then forget it. I swear to the goddess, I never approach her again, so please leave me alone. If you dredge up this again, I turn myself into police, even counts. I'll probably get fired too, but I don't care. What was that all about? I don't know, but it sounds like he won't be bothering your friend Jessica. And does he have a bruise on his face? It looks like someone punched him. Yeah, since he seems to believe it was our crew was responsible? Part of me wishes it was. Well, that would constitute a crime in the Republic. But wasn't this case from something like 10 months ago? Why bring it up now? This certainly did have to do with the past 4SPG. Afterwards, Van got in touch with Jessica to confirm that nothing unusual had happened. He also told Lucia to contact him if anything came up. Lucia said she was going to visit Jessica, so they saw her off at the station. Theo went with her part of the way too, to make sure nobody was following her.
Can you believe it? We're gonna go to space! Let's see what we got.
Root of strange illness. I've been pretty sick lately and starting to take its toll. While I know the cause, no one seems to believe me. Between my doctor and the people at work. Would you mind hearing me out? I'll be waiting at the terrace in Riverside. Okay, Bradley.
I'm serving supersized portions today.
What is it? Do you have business with me? I'm waiting for someone right now. Actually, you know what? Anybody would be fine. Would you hear me out? Are you Radley? I'm Margaret, the spriggan. I saw you for SPG. Yeah, wait. You saw my request? Please help me. Whoa, no. Seems I've got some real problems. If you don't mind, could you give us some details about your request? Since the Force BG, we might be able to help. Thank you. I've been having trouble sleeping lately. My body is sluggish, my mind is hazy, and I haven't been able to focus on work at all. I want you to help me get over this. Have you been in poor health? If so, it would probably be better if you went to the doctor and asked. I've already seen a doctor, but they didn't believe me at all. Even the people I work with decided I'm just tired or I'm having a mental breakdown. I've been handling me with kid gloves. Even though it's obviously not the cause. It sounds like you have a clue as to what might be behind this. It's a footage. The footage on the street monitors. You know, in the city where they show movies, theater announcement, ad service, baseball, that sort of thing? The footage? Yes, my health has been deteriorating ever since I saw those street monitors. And it gets even worse every time I walk by one of them. Even today I made sure to avoid the places where the screens were put up. Managed to post my request in Riverside and... You don't believe me. But what else can I say? It's the truth. You're all the same. Nobody will take my story seriously. Okay. Which street monitors are you talking about exactly? You believe me? I don't get the sense that you're lying anyway. Fact of the matter is, you wrote up a Force BG. Your claim is the only basis we need. But I prefer a concrete lead if possible, so talk us through it calmly if you can. Thank you. Thank you. How very like you. The monitors I saw most often were ones on Station Street and in the Chardin district. That's the route I usually take to and from work, but when I passed them recently I started getting dizzy. Whenever I passed by after that, my head would get hazy and it felt like my body was getting heavier. I'm scared of what will happen when I look at them next. I see, that should be enough information for now. But let's start investigating right away. If there's something to those monitors, we simply can't ignore it. But, well, you wait here and try to enjoy a leisurely coffee. And try out the tacos from the food stand across the way. I highly recommend them. Okay. Alright, let's get to it. Why don't we ask people who might have something to do with the monitors on Station Street and the Chardin district?
Well, we're on the clock now.
I'm serving
Major Amelia
supersized
is
portions
so
today.
cool.
Come on by and eat your fill. My stuff can't be beat.
Quatre fromaggi tacos.
I'll be waiting for you.
Good, let's go back to Chardin.
Time to depart.
There's too many places to choose from.
A cinematic masterpiece takes the stage.
We hope we can get our hands on some tickets for the Chardin.
Do you have a moment?
People feeling unwell after looking at the monitor. Terribly sorry, but I haven't heard about anything like that. Certainly it would be inexcusable for Chardin were to ignore something negatively impacting our guests. See, you get a lot of visitors here. The monitor surely attracts attention. Yes, after all, it's a curved monitor, which is the latest tech. I don't know the details, but I've heard it's quite the groundbreaking technology. Yes, we only just started having curved screens capable of matching the standards of flat ones. The fact that you can see it even when you're not looking straight on makes it incredibly effective for advertising. I heard they're considering introducing them to a variety of formats like desktop computers. God, you look kind of happy. That's tech enthusiasts for you. But since we're here, have you noticed anything curious? Anything at all? Doesn't even have to involve people who look at the monitor. Now that you mention it, did over here a guest mention something he saw on the monitor? He claimed he saw a white image flash on it for just a second. A white image? I kept an eye out for it myself just in case, but I never saw a thing. I concluded that perhaps the screen was a little unstable even though it is the latest model? I can't deny the possibility, I suppose. Well, thanks for answering our questions. Okay, and next is the Station Street.
Off we go.
Satellite launched outside the atmosphere.
Always happy to
Capable
visit
of
my
monitoring.
favorite orbital
This
cafe.
is so freaking awesome.
Yeah, no?
Got a question for you.
You're asking if anything unusual has happened with the monitors recently? Yeah, I thought you might have heard something since you're the owner. Not a thing, I haven't gotten any reports about it either. All passers-by catch sight of the monitor, not just people visiting IOTA. Within the space program and all the new movie ads, definitely been getting more attention lately. If someone could get sick just by looking at it, you'd think there'd be more victims. That's definitely true. If a guild receives such a report, it would become their first priority. It could be the problems hidden specifically so that no one would believe a victim even if they did speak up. True, though it may be too early to draw conclusions one way or another. You say it happens when they look at the monitor. Do you have an idea? Just remember that I might have heard something about that in a lecture back when I was studying at the Institute of Science. If you remember right, there was a sort of technology involving moving pictures that had been misused. Lectures do often cover well-known misuses and risk of past technology. There was already word of it happening when Ilhan was in school. Yeah, it may have been an incident from long ago. I'm sorry, I can't remember it very well. No, that's actually informative in a lot of ways, thanks. We've heard a lot about the screens readily mentioned. However, while we received some concerning reports, I hesitate to say we found any decisive leads. Yeah, the client's not the only one who's seen the monitors. A bunch of other folks have seen them too. Yet nobody else has gotten sick from it besides her. Just to make sure, we're still planning to trust Radley and continue the investigation, right? Of course, she really is feeling sick. That's all we need to know. I suppose you're right. There may be some sort of prerequisite required for it to occur. Something that causes it to only work on specific people in the crowds. Is that even possible? If that's true, we should confirm the content of that footage for ourselves. The footage was presumably provided by the respective advertising companies. The guild could probably acquire it under the pretext of assisting with the investigation. If you could arrange it for us, it would be a big help. Then let's get in touch and see what we can negotiate. So they contacted the Orbital Cafe in the Jardin. After receiving permission from the advertising companies, the group was given the video footage that aired on the two monitors. One of the others then took it back to the office to analyze.
Analysis complete. A file-size discrepancy between the original footage provided and the footage currently being broadcasted has been found. It appears that digital images were mixed into the gap in the footage at an unknown time.
Just as I thought, I tried displaying them. What the hell's this? A white image. Could this be what we heard about at the Jardin? That's AD. I think so. Though the guest probably only noticed it by chance. It appears this was inserted between frames in the video via the Orbital network. No doubt about it, it's intended to create a subliminal effect. Subliminal? It's a technique to influence one's subconscious using images that flash by at imperceivable speeds. I've heard that it works in the unconscious mind, and to some extent can even control the way someone thinks. Yeah, word is that when Orbital movies first started out, they experimented with this in local theaters. Say, by inserting images of popcorn in the movie, they could dramatically increase sales. After that, though, cults and frauds started abusing it. Nowadays there are regulations to protect against it. I've heard tell of some of those incidents. I believe the effects are even proven to some extent. Subliminal imprinting. Would such a thing really have an impact on Radley's physical health? There's physiological precedence, so I don't think it's impossible. Though I can't say what's happening in this case for sure, nor what the conditions have to be to make it happen. Whom would do this and why? To put a stop to this as soon as we can. Yeah, our client might not be the only victim. Think we can trace the data? I'm currently using the Orbital network to attempt to trace the data contained in the image. There, the address appears to be the control room of Trion Tower. Of all places? Sven and Nadia conducted an investigation there previously. Should be able to reach it via the stairs on the observation deck. Yeah, well, no time like the present. From there, the group contacted the Orbital Cafe in the Jardin, who disclosed the subliminal messaging they discovered. After instructing them to restore an old, unmodified version of the video, Van and crew resumed their investigation.
Let's
Observation
do
deck.
this.
Whoa, we're so high up.
Hey there, what would you like? Come again.
Tree on Tower's observation deck stands 250.
A source of the inserted subliminal images, a tower's control room, is just beyond this point. We have got time to ask for permission. Should we add in? It's near. Guide everyone. You think he's the culprit? Maybe he's acting a bit odd. You're right, how did he not notice all of us entering the room? The source is that terminal there. I think we need to shut it down right away, no matter what. A bracer would logically interrogate the man about the situation first. Well, what's the move here? I would arrest him and first look at the terminal. Hey you, what are you doing with that terminal? Who are you? This is holy ground. Nuisances must disappear. Weren't we gonna talk to him? That was legitimate self-defense. Perhaps my original plan was too naive. But something about this is... Let's investigate the terminal while we have the chance. I'm seeing a history of hacking into street monitors using the tower's orbital network. Just as before, it seems they are using this to insert the subliminal images remotely. Can we stop it? About that, it appears to have complex security measures in place utilizing orbital locks. May be difficult to shut down by force, and it's possible that one wrong move could result in the loss of stored information. Then perhaps this is a job for Mare? Yeah, we might be able to get through with holocord hacking. It's all yours, man. Right then, let's get down to it.
Leave it to me. Conducting search. This is kid stuff. Security conducting search. Conducting search. Now I've done it. Oh, I'm not done yet. Conducting search. Conducting search.
Actually pretty complicated.
Conducting search. This is kid stuff. Security bypassed.
Whew. Close.
This is kid stuff. Security bypassed.
Checkpoint.
Conducting search.
Okay.
Conducting search. Conducting search. I made it! This thing's as good as unlocked.
Alright, we did it. Now your skills are superb. We succeeded in completely blocking the hacking to each location. I secure the stored information. This is the white image used for subliminal imprinting. The picture was mostly obscured by noise before, but this is the full thing. It says AD. Isn't that like the people Van fought last night? Altered Dawn. That's the name we heard this morning. Would have guessed this would be about the people we're after. It's only speculation based on what we know, but perhaps they're using the footage to lure particular people to AD? Do you mean that they're gathering people who met their standards by transmitting this image? That seems sensible. Remember Ginny's disappearance from the share house this morning? That flash we saw on her computer screen might well have been this image. Now that you mention it, then that incident might also be related. There's a non-zero chance of that for sure. I take it this was all you were able to salvage? Right, there was hardly any important information left on the terminal. Or any information at all, really, judging by the data records. The man operating the terminal must have been just another victim. I expect it will be difficult to trace this any further from here. Maybe so, but even just knowing this is related to AD is a win in my book. Wake up! Huh? What have I been doing? Ah, you revived him with chi, huh? Figured it worked on most guys last night too, other than Jeffrey. Maybe I could use it to restore our client's health too? Yes, let's get back to, with everything we've learned. After that, the group entrusted the staff member to the guild and left Trion Tower. They then made their way back to the client. Wake up! I feel so much lighter and the haze in my head has cleared up. How on earth did you do that? Just think of it as a type of Eastern medicine. You also solved the abnormality in the monitors you told us about, so there's no need to worry anymore. But thank you. How can I ever repay you? You know, I feel like I might have learned the word subliminal before. How bizarre that the human body can be affected by such a thing. Of course, we can't tell her about AD. Do you think if we just left her where she was, she would have joined the group in question? It's highly likely. Yes, I'm glad we were able to step in before that happened. It's possible there are other people who have been affected by the footage. Yeah, but since we don't know what causes certain people to be affected, there's not much we can do. For now, all we can do is remain vigilant. We've already shared this information with the guild and the police. My work relationships haven't been good. And when I started feeling sick, neither my colleagues nor my doctor believed me. I felt so forlorn, so isolated. I even started feeling down about life itself. Then I turned to you guys in a last-ditch effort, and you believed me. Maybe my life isn't something to be discarded after all. Sometimes you gotta take both the good and the bad. That's just part of life. So why not live boldly? Remember that even being alone can be fun. And of course you can always throw up a 4SPG when you need to. Man. Yes, I remember it. Thank you so much.
All in a day's work.
Reward deposited.
No up. Obtain Mare Law.
I'm serving supersized portions today.
My work relationships were collapsing and I was going through so much. I felt like I couldn't count on anyone. When you came and solved my problem, I'm so glad I trusted you guys. Thank you for everything. Work can be a bit more positive too. Good, we were in Station Street.
Well then, shall we?
Then...
Maybe I should get an Orville scooter too.
Is another topic quest? Because it seems to be upstairs, not on the board.
What would you like? Please stop by again sometime.
I'll talk to you later.
Mankind now takes its first step in a new frontier and toward a new future for Zemuria.
Oh, you who took my Pintil wallet. Though I've since gotten it back. But out of curiosity, why did you wait till now to apologize and return my mirror?
The rocket that'll take me to space is
What does it matter? Just take with that money already. These two. I recognize one of them. She was one of our former clients. Our 4SPG was one of the first ones we worked on together. Yeah, the fancy wallet she got from her parents was stolen. We helped her buy it back.
If I may trouble you a moment.
I'll be able to
Oh, it's you guys. Long time no see, young lady. It's been quite a while. Is there some kind of trouble going on? Why, you guys? People who've got nothing to do with this should scram. Funnily enough, we do have something to do with this. I'm a spriggan, my assistant, to help get her wallet back. A spriggan? Based on how this conversation is going, one might infer that you're the one who stole the wallet. Is she only now deciding to apologize? Yes, she reached out to me out of nowhere, saying she wanted to meet up so she could apologize. I was a little nervous, but she seems pretty distraught, so... Anyway, I'm returning the 5,000 mirror I stole from your wallet and adding in the 5,000 you had to spend to buy it back. That makes 10,000, so you forgive me once and for all, right? I don't know if that guy is a friend of yours or what, but you better not sick him on me, okay? Oh. She's gone. I really don't understand what that was all about. Do you want to chase her? Nah, we shouldn't need to. She does seem like a pickpocket though, so what do you think? We didn't catch her in the act, so I'm willing to look the other way. Of course I remember her face. Thanks again for helping me back then. I wonder how that woman got my contact information. I don't think my address was in my wallet. Is it really okay for me to accept this mirror? It ain't counterfeit, you're probably fine. But who's this old guy she was talking about? And this is the second time this has happened. Afterwards, one and the others managed to calm down the anxious Alicia and told her to let them know immediately if anything happened. When she was reassured, they said their goodbyes. Good. Trion Tower.
Off we go.
That's Trion. Tower? It's humongous.
Welcome to the Trion Mall.
Eastern
Here
Tree
you'll
is
find Trion
Perfect
Tower,
time for a breather.
one of Edith's major landmarks.
Could you please refrain from putting this to paper? He'd be willing to compensate you with a consulting fee within reason. The mess has both parties completely perplexed. Surely can we consider in light of that? I get where you're coming from, I do, but if this is true, then we got a responsibility to report on it. Though by the sound of it, this leak didn't come from the other end of a dispute. In any event, if I could at least review the article before it got to print. The editor-in-chief's a given, but doesn't that woman look familiar too? Yeah, we had the idea with that actor she was managing back in Masseldom. Was doing a search for the 8th Genesis fragments, I gather.
Welcome to the Trion Mall. Here
Got a
you'll
question
find
for you.
Trion Tower, one of Edith's
Oh, it's a spriggan. You was fixes for Masseldom. Hey, Miss Manager, long time no see. Let me guess, that case we helped you with is rearing its ugly head again? That's right, oh, I shouldn't introduce myself first. I'm actor Ethan Smith's talent manager. Thanks to you, that woman with a grudge against Ethan was talked into leaving him alone. Ethan was paralyzed for his actions, but he's finally regained his footing. But now, all these months later, the full details of that case and Ethan's misconduct have been leaked to Melt magazine here. What? Do you mean how he got involved with a fan and spurned her, after which she began to stalk him? My goodness, how despicable. Yeah, no matter how you look at it, this is his just desserts. I would prefer the woman who wronged be the one who received the assistance. Well, it was what it was. But aside, you got any idea who leaked the story? I thought there was nothing to you, Spriggan, but you catch on quickly. You're spot on. You're spot on. We received an anonymous, detailed report that was sent directly to the editorial department the day before yesterday. When we checked with a woman we made the settlement with, she claimed to have nothing to do with it. She said she'd met someone new and would be extremely embarrassed if the incident was made public. Really now? Hey Van. Yeah, I know. We sure didn't leak it, but we don't really want the specifics of our business disclosed. Or our confidentiality questioned. Do you mind letting us handle this case for the time being? Depending on the circumstances, we might be able to give your magazine an even juicier story. Very well, I accept. What? Are you sure? Positive. While the leaks appear accurate, their source is unknown. It simply isn't our style to go along with something like this. And even if we did cover the story, it wouldn't gain much traction thanks to the space program. Besides, I can't stomach the thought of us being used as a tool for someone else's benefit. I only have one condition: handle the payback in our stead. Ha, leave it to us. I'm glad you're a reasonable man. So, you're willing to overlook what Ethan did? Yes, I'm more worried about the woman, but if anything else happens, the guild will lend a hand. That's a relief. Would have thought that someone would leak this case after all this time. It's the third time now, there's no longer any doubt. After that, Van and the others said their goodbyes to Cunning and the manager before returning to work.
That's Trion Tower?
Welcome to Trion Mall. Screen 1 will be opening its
Let's
doors
watch
soon.
a
Step right up.
Ticket holders,
movie.
please proceed to the entrance.
Burger and...
Thank you for your visit today.
and
Screen
Judith.
1 will be opening its doors shortly.
A lonesome girl named Beth, born in the slums, turned to a life of crime and ended up in prison. But one day she received a letter that would change her life. It was from a man named Mikey, who had once made a name for himself as a boxing trainer. You got a talent for boxing, kid. You just gotta own your skills. Although Beth scoffed at the letter at first, as time went on, she eventually decided to start training on her own. Eventually, the day of her release came, and Mikey was right there, waiting for her, inviting her to train with him and become a champion. But the path of a pro boxer was more arduous than she ever could have imagined. Mikey, who had become a mentor to her like none other, was diagnosed with an incurable disease just before the biggest match of her career. After he fell into a deep coma, when the doctor said he'd never recover from, Beth was forced to go it alone.
And Beth's down on the mat yet again! Could it be that her opponent, the welterweight champion Grizzly Bonanza, is just too far beyond her to beat?
It's no good. She'll never beat that monster.
I hate to say it, but maybe she should just stay down.
Get up! On your feet, Beth!
I can't see. Everything's going dark. Mikey, I can't.
Listen up, Beth. You got a natural talent for this sport.
Mikey?
But before you can go anywhere, you gotta believe in yourself. Work on those moves. And don't do it for me. Do it for your future. All that strength you've been building up, it ain't gonna let you down. I know it'll point you in the right direction when you're up against the wall.
That's right. Mikey believed in me. The most important thing you gave me is right here inside me. Coursing through my blood and my fists. Believe, Beth. Believe in all those days of training. Believe in yourself.
Gotcha!
She nailed her! That was a perfectly clean hit!
Thanks, Mikey. I promise I'm gonna bring that belt home for you.
Nina really is amazing. Can't believe she was able to play this kind of character so perfectly. Yeah, I was so immersed in her performance, I actually forgot it was her for a bit. With how many layers the character has, I guess you kinda have to become the part in order to sell it. In that sense, even though it wasn't anything like her usual roles, casting Nina was a brilliant move on the director's part. Yeah, I agree. I bet stepping into Beth's shoes was a fun challenge for her. So a delinquent begins her life anew through boxing, discovers her own path. Whether martial arts, sports, or any other form, it It is my belief that meaningful struggles can illuminate the way forward in our lives. True enough, you teaching me the Kunlun style was a big part of what helped me become the person I am now. So it's not just traditional martial arts that can help guide people, but also other types of unique one-on-one fighting styles too. Thinking about it, Mikey's coaching scenes reminded me of the days when you were training me, Master. Ah, indeed. It is inevitable that those who have found the path of a martial artist will guide those who are lost along the same path. In that regard, Mikey likely faced Beth in those moments with feelings similar to my own. I see. Well, I feel like I'm always learning when you're around, Master, because it means this path still has ways left for me to walk. Back to work.
Beginning search.
Now, Marker Cipher is another movie, but I don't think today.
Step right up.
I can skip through most. I mean, I watched the same movie because we have watched all of them by now, and see what Anis and Fairy say about it. I wasn't expecting to get to see so many new sides to Nina. Both Beth as a delinquent, the first half, and Beth as a boxer in the second half, are types of roles I've never seen her in before. And even though they are both the same character, you could really feel how she's developed, thanks in no small part to Nina's superb acting. Guess I should be surprised a big Nina fan like yourself was paying close attention to that sort of stuff. She definitely played the part well. Can't imagine it's easy to capture all the nuances of one character going through multiple stages in their life. I was also really impressed by her acting during the matches. Her pain and determination to win felt so real. Agreed, the scene where Beth decided to stake her life on a match was especially moving. The way she can ground a character like that is something Nina is uniquely strong at. This movie really drove that home for me, maybe even because it's something outside of her usual roles. Wow, so boxing matches are like real deal fights, huh? I thought they'd be kid stuff compared to the battlefield, but maybe I was wrong. Well, I don't know if I can put boxing and war in the same camp. That said, both and them still put their well-beings on the line every time they enter the ring, all for the sake of what's riding on their shoulders. So you ask me what makes them bona fide warriors. Oh, so what you're saying is, want to grow as a warrior, I should take up boxing too? Or at least give it a try? I don't know if you need to go that far, but there's definitely a lot we can learn from the way the boxers in the movie lived their lives. Having finished our break, we return to work. Good. And with it, I would end the episode. Until next time then, when we continue looking around, there are still two main story points. And the question of who is our mystery... mystery spriggan. Until next time then, I'm Mace and don't get lost.